President Trump's feud with Fed Chair Jerome Powell was on public display today as the two men toured the renovation site of the central bank's Washington, D.C. headquarters. We're going to play for you again the moment when President Trump confronted Powell about the cost of the project.
It looks like it's about 3.1 billion. Went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Argo said about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2. This came from us.
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added. You just added.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall. So.
It's not new.
The president has become highly critical of the price tag of the renovations, which are estimated to cost $2.5 billion. That's very different than the $3.1 billion figure the president claimed today, although according to Powell, that's including the price of an additional building that was completed years ago. Now, the timing of the tour and the criticism of the cost are notable as the president has toyed for weeks with the idea of firing Powell. The president's dissatisfaction stems from his long-held belief that the Fed chair should lower interest rates. Any kind of pressure by a sitting president on the independent central bank is highly unusual. Even the fact that the president traveled to the Fed headquarters today is notable. The last president to do so was George W. Bush in 2006. With us now is Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary during the Clinton administration, and the former director of the White House National Economic Council under President Obama. Secretary, thanks so much for being with us. What went through your head when you were watching the Fed chair fact-check the president in real time over the cost of the renovations?
It's not a scene like anything that I've seen before in many years in Washington. I don't really understand why the President of the United States and the Chairman of the Federal Reserve are negotiating or discussing building procedures and building costs. But here's what's really important. If there's a sense that the Fed is going to yield to political pressure and make money easier, the market's going to see that, and it's all going to backfire. Maybe interest rates will be a bit lower in the short run, but in the long run, because people will see that that leads to more inflation, interest rates will go up. So it's not about whether it's the right or wrong thing to do to bash the Fed. It's a fool's game for politicians, because if anybody thinks you have a chance of succeeding, actually the interest rates that are important, the longer term interest rates that affect when corporations borrow, are more important, that affect when individuals borrow to buy a house, mortgage rates go up. So I don't think this is a prudent strategy for the president to pursue, independent of the merits of the question. I think it's playing a very, very dangerous game to raise doubts about the independence of the Fed.
You talked about the idea if the markets see the Fed being pressured. I want to play a little bit more of the tour. Watch.
Do you think that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism? Well, other than that, what can I tell you?
I don't know if you actually could say the president is literally trying to strong-arm the Fed chair into lowering interest rates. But what about the dynamics in the body language between the two? How will that be perceived when it comes to Fed independence?
I think right now people expect that Jay Powell's going to do his duty as he sees it. And it's not only him, it's a 12-member committee that votes on monetary policy. And I think right now people expect that they will do their job and find the best balance they can between the risks of inflation and unemployment. I don't think anybody thinks that the kind of huge reduction in interest rates, 2 percentage points, 3 percentage points, that the president has called for, I don't think anybody thinks it's likely that that's going to happen. If people started to think that would happen, I think you'd see huge turmoil in markets. I think you'd see mortgage rates go way up. I think you'd see the dollar go way down. I suspect you'd see the stock market go way down as well. I don't think people are seeing this as a serious threat that the president is really going to control or change the picture in a major way at the Fed. And after all, the president made clear today and has made clear in the past that it's not his intention to replace Chair Powell. I think what the president is really doing, John, is not so much trying to influence monetary policy as he's setting himself up to have a scapegoat if the economy goes bad. If the economy goes bad, people are going to blame it on his tariff policies. That's probably going to be the reason it went bad. But he's setting up to be able to blame it on the Fed. That's what I think this is all really about.
Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, always great to speak with you. Thank you very much.